Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a TV review, and today we'll be having a look at the following Love Hurts episode, which I believe is episode 9. So this episode really is going to go back to the follower of the week type scenario. There's actually a couple of lines in the actual show this week that actually say that from this point on, each of the followers will kind of have their own chapter and essentially be the master of their own destiny. And it basically sets it up for them to have their kind of each individual contributions to the sort of the effort that they're all having and the following. Therefore, really setting up for really a lot of follower of the week episodes. So that's maybe a bit of a sort of a bad thing to be certainly, because it looks like it's going to follow this kind of like this situation for at least for the short time. But the episode this week, the actual follow this week, is quite interesting. It's a nervous young woman called Amanda who basically wants her chapter to be about love, essentially. So hence the title. So what she tries to do is murder anyone called Claire Matthews. Now Claire Matthews is the name of Joe Carroll's ex-wife. And basically, she's the official line that the police think is that basically it's just to sort of try and hurt Kevin Bacon's character, but Kevin Bacon suspects that the real motivation is to try and coax the real Claire Matthews out of hiding, because she's currently in protective custody, and she thinks if people are getting killed with her name, that she'll basically reveal herself and essentially give herself up. So she just wants to make sure that obviously all the media blackout for where she's concerned. And this Amanda basically is essentially going around very much like the sort of Sarah Connor from Terminator, and essentially killing anyone in her name. She gets to a couple, and it really culminates into the last Claire Matthews that is on the list essentially at this party. Now, the B plot on this really, well, there's a couple of smaller B plots. The main one really, we actually see the two guys who are posing as a gay couple, and they're actually holed up in one of their mother's sort of holiday home, and the mother actually sort of comes home because there's been a lot of sort of media attention on their family and stuff, and to find them there. One of them has obviously been wounded and is in pretty poor shape. The mother actually tries to help them, but ultimately sort of says there's not a hell of a lot she can do. And you get a couple of interesting flashbacks to when these guys first met. One of them still hasn't killed anyone, and it shows you these two sort of bonding as a sort of as friends. And there's some quite good scenes there, I have to admit. Now what happens is that they know that the one who's injured, he can't really go anywhere, so he's pretty much doomed. So he actually suggests the one who hasn't killed anyone, he should be his first victim, and he actually does, and so he gets his first kill, and it's his friend by sort of smothering him, and he essentially escapes to the house where obviously all the followers are. Now, just before that actually happens, you have a few scenes obviously in the house. You've got Emma, who sort of has slept with Joe Carroll last episode, and there's a little bit of a frosty sort of feeling between them. As Joe Carroll really kind of almost, I feel, wants to sort of distance himself a little bit from her now. And you've also got Roderick there, who, as I said last episode, I suspect may end up sort of coming to odds with Joe Carroll at some point. But in this episode, really, I think he's kind of in competition with Emma for the sort of secondary disciple, so to speak. So there's a little bit of friction at that point, but I still believe that Joe Carroll and not Joe Carroll, the Roderick and Joe Carroll are going to be at odds at some point. Now, the real action takes place at this big party at the end of the episode where the FBI have tracked this last Claire Matthews, and you've got this Amanda there, along with the other blonde serial killer woman who Roderick was sleeping with in the previous episode. Now she's killed, and Amanda is captured, and obviously this Claire Matthews is saved. The one thing that kind of bugged me, it's starting to bug me this little bit show, and I guess it is Kevin Bacon's show, so I understand the reasons for doing this, but it always seems to be that it seems to be Kevin Bacon seems to be the one on the sort of the precipice of most of this action. You've got a whole bunch of FBI agents and police, but it's always Kevin Bacon who is the one that has to do the sort of the heavy lifting. He's the one that sort of stumbles across the killers and what have you. So I would like to sort of see just for 1 or 2 episodes, maybe the sort of the lead female FBI agent or Sean Ashmore's character when he's back on his feet again actually be the ones to stop the bad guys, and sort of Kevin Bacon's character's really just sort of more in support really. But this is Kevin Bacon's show ultimately, so he's going to be the heroic figure, I guess, in pretty much every episode. But it was, it was an entertaining episode. I quite enjoyed it. It was certainly one of the more sort of self-contained episodes to a certain point. But I thought it was just enjoyable enough. And I'm happy with sort of the quality of this thing it's going to churn out. I just hope we don't get loads and loads and loads of follow of the week episode, and they have a kind of a bit more of an arc that they had sort of previously, and we're not going to get one of these type of episodes now. Anyway, so I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What do you think? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later.